This series is not meant to be an accurate representation of the current NASCAR Cup Series. This is a fictional series, ran on NR2003 for enjoyment. I hope you enjoyed today's race.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the NR2003 simulation season, live from Nashville Super Speedway. We only have 3 races until the playoffs begin, and that 3-race stretch begins here today at the concrete oval of Nashville Super Speedway. Drivers are ready to go racing here today at a track that, well, the groove widens out. You'll have cars from the top of the racetrack to the bottom of the racetrack, racing for what they hope is going to be a victory for them today. Looks like the Grand Marshal's ready to get these cars fired up, so we're going to take you trackside for the command of fire engines.
Drivers, start your engines!
Just like that, engines have been fired. Ready to go racing here in Nashville. Eric Almirola, Kyle Busch on the front row, the rest of the field, their starting positions. Buescher and Larson, Elliott, Blaney, starting up towards the front of the pack here today. Almirola finally with a solid qualifying effort, putting him up towards the front of the pack here today. Very important here in Nashville to qualify well. If you do not qualify well, it's not going to be a good race for you. Kyle Busch starts on his outside. Into the Geico restart zone they come. Cars getting ready to go racing. Green flag in the air. We're racing in Nashville. 4 wide already. Almost 4 wide down into the corner. Almirola battling with Kyle Busch. Busch on the outside of him. Backing up to Kyle Larson. Chris Buescher, another honorable mention, starting up the front of the pack today. Buescher has been nowhere to be found this season. And finally, here he is, racing up front. Brad Keselowski has won a couple times this season. And it's finally good to see that second RFK race car up the front of the field. Almirola now taking that lead a little bit further out. The battle is on back here in mid-pack, where we've got some 4 wide with Stenhouse, Kurt Busch. Ross Chastain was stuck up on a high side there for a moment. Truex starting to work his way towards the front. Alex Bowman, the most wins out of any driver this season. Bowman a very solid last few weeks. Started with that win in Bristol, and it has continued on. Battling right now with Eric Jones. Jones on the outside. The rest of the field up towards the front has taken a single file route. Besides the battle for second between Kyle Busch and Chris Buescher, this battle continues. Buescher looks like he may be falling slightly behind here. Busch able to clear the 17, for the time being anyway. So Kyle moves himself solidly into the second place position. Sorry there about the scoring pylon. Stuck at the bottom. I've got that all set now. You can see top 10, Almirola, Busch, Chris Buescher, Chase Elliott will move his way into 4th, battling with teammate Kyle Larson. Closest battle up front right now. Almirola has creeped out to over 1 second lead over second place Kyle Busch. now that Busch is clear of the battle between him and Buescher, see what kind of speed the 18 has. A couple Hendrick cars battling, a couple Penske cars battling. Another driver we're going to talk about here a lot today, driving the 99. Daniel Suarez has worked his way into the 15th position in the playoff points. So battling right around that cut line is Suarez. Another couple guys that have been battling with Suarez around the cut line is Austin Cindric, Christopher Bell. We seem to find them hanging out right at that cut line every week. Right now, all of them within 1 second of one another. Christopher Bell lost the nose of his 20 car, it looked like, in the middle of the corner. But still alongside the two of Austin Cindric. A driver that has actually worked himself, no wins this season for the 19, but has worked himself up to second in the points. Truex been very, very good, consistent, making sure he's doing all of the right things. Take a look at our aerial coverage here. You can really see the lines that these drivers are running. And you can see the track. The rubber is building up on the racetrack. Still battling right now with Reddick, Chastain. Chastain's actually moved up a couple spots. Harrison Burton not having that great of a day right now. Burton being shown all the way in the 36th position. Harrison has shown glimpses of speed, little glimmers of speed throughout the season. Today is not that, as Harrison's struggling. Up at the front of the field, I'll take you all the way to the front here. Chase Elliott, your Darlington winner, has now gotten around Chris Buescher. Now has his sights set on Kyle Busch. Taking a look at the fastest laps here today, Almirola with the fastest lap. But Chase Elliott, don't lose sight of this 9 car. He is 5th fastest right now. Time's very, very close. Extremely close. So close to the point where 2nd and 3rd are tied with a 30.194 at Cindric and Suarez. Right now, Chase Elliott's starting to put a little bit of pressure on Kyle Busch. So does Elliott get a 4th win today? Is one to watch. But right now, Eric Almirola still with a 1.3 second lead. Whips across the start-finish line. Complete lap 15. Go on to lap 16 here. Almirola, not much to talk about this season at all. But Almirola today having a wonderful day. And now you see a battle for second. Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott. Elliott battling hard to try to get this second position. It looks like he will clear Kyle Busch off of turn number 2. Another car that we haven't talked too much about lately in the season, won at Las Vegas, has had a quiet season since then, is out of the top 14 right now as far as the playoffs go. But Joey Logano today, a little bit of a bobble there as we were talking about him. You can see the loss of speed. That brought Kyle Larson right back up next to the 22. So the battle right now, second, third, fourth, and fifth. Then you have Daniel Suarez. Excuse me, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh is Daniel Suarez. Second, of course, is Chase Elliott, who is actually driving away from the rest of these drivers here. So after Elliott had gotten by Kyle Busch, starting to turn the speed up a little bit. So right now, the 9 car trying to chase down Eric Almirola. Not sure if, and he did. He cut in big time for the lead that time by. So keep an eye on this 9 car as he is continuing to march forward. Looks like the battle for third has settled a little bit. Kyle Busch able to take that position. The battle is behind him. Looks like Larson will take fourth. So Larson goes past the line, will get scored in fourth position. Kyle Busch is clear of that battle. Larson clear. Chris Buescher has now cleared himself from that battle we were watching earlier, and now Logano under fire from Daniel Suarez. Talked about at the top of the show. Penske cars battling there. Blaney and Logano, they still are within eyesight of each other. The field beginning to get extremely strung out. Nashville, of course, one of the longer races of the season. Good for drivers who like a long run. Saw 2 Hendrick machines up the front of the field. Well, we got to go all the way back to the 22nd and 23rd position to find the other two. William Byron and Alex Bowman battling together back here mid-pack. So not too good for the Hendrick Motorsports camp here today in Nashville. Half up front, half in the rear. Same goes for Chase Briscoe and Kevin Harvick here. Harvick with 2 wins on the season. Very odd to see when you look at Stewart Haas to see 2 of their cars here battling all the way back for the 28th and 27th positions. Not much further ahead of them is the 4th Stewart Haas car. And that's Cole Custer. So Almirola, the only Stewart Haas car that has been doing well, but even that is slightly in jeopardy. As the 9 car has hunted down Almirola, he now has that lead back down to below a second. So the 9 car feeling some speed. Elliott looking really good. Cutting about another 10th out of that lead. So Chase Elliott Doing really well for himself this afternoon. Start up towards the front. And you can visibly see it. The lead is shrinking. Now keep in mind, next week we go to Dover. Another concrete track. I've been to Dover once this season. Tyler Reddick went to Victory Lane. But the eyes right now are on this battle for the lead. Elliott versus Almirola. Almost up on halfway. And green flag pit stops should be happening fairly quickly here. And again, the lead has been cut into. So a two-man duel for the lead about to begin. You can see the 9 just closes right in on entry. Seems like Almirola is able to hold true on exit, but entry, give it to the 9, is able to just get into the corner so much better than the 10 of Almirola. He's got this cut down to 0.2 of a second. Almirola goes into defense mode to defend against Chase Elliott. Elliott with 3 wins on the season already. The Daytona 500, he won at Homestead, and then he finally won again after a rough patch at Darlington. And with that Darlington victory, Chase Elliott, a little bit of confidence. Had a rough race at Road America. But the 9, right back where he wants to be. And on the racetrack, he is almost right back where he wants to be. But we do have some cars pitting. Denny Hamlin, Daniel Suarez, a couple of these guys coming to pit. Strategy play here for these guys. Elliott stays on the racetrack. Almirola will come to pit lane to make his pit stop. You saw Kyle Busch came in also behind Almirola. So Almirola will bring his car down to the attention of his pit crew. First pit stall. And in a moment, you'll see the 18 car. Oh, my mistake. Blaney. With the green front end, I looked quickly. Kyle Busch was still on pit lane. Still on the racetrack. And here comes Chase Elliott to make his pit stop. And 2 cars behind him, you will see the 18 of Kyle Busch flash by. There he goes. So the rest of the cars that didn't make their pit stops are pitting now. Elliott, 4 tires and fuel. Kyle Busch looking like 4 tires and fuel. And here's Elliott coming off pit lane. And Almirola already up to speed, but Elliott might be able to squeak in front of the 10. Not looking like it. They will be side by side for what would be the lead. But Almirola, with a little bit more heat in his tires, able to fire those tires up. He will maintain the lead. Kyle Busch, the biggest loser out of all that. Kyle in 6th position, now under fire from his teammate Christopher Bell. Bell looking to the inside. This battle would be for the 6th position. So Kyle Busch, not what he wanted. And start all over again, Chase Elliott. A little bit of space between him and Almirola. Have to see what the lap times are like. Another big winner out of that pit cycle was the 22 of Joey Logano. Move him to the 4th position. Remember, we saw Logano moving up towards the front of the pack. But now with some track position, will Logano be able to go up and challenge for the lead? But they've got a long way to go. 3rd place was over 2 seconds back from the 9 car when green flag pit stop started. And you can see it's actually closed up a little bit. Larson now only 1.44 seconds behind. We'll have to see what it is this time by. About the same. 1.42, but did gain slightly. Back at the front, the battle for the lead about to start again, as Almirola and Elliott are now almost bumper to bumper. Down into turn 3. Just when the 9 caught the 10, that's when green flag pit stop started. But here goes Elliott to the inside, looking to the inside of Almirola to make a pass for the lead. Will Almirola be able to hold him off? Looks like he will. Going down the back straightaway, that little bit of a higher lane, able to help keep the 10 car in front of Chase Elliott. Meanwhile, these two are battling. The front 2 are being caught by 3rd and 4th position. You can see it again there, 2 whole tenths taken out. So as the front 2 start racing, the 5 and the 22 have their sights on getting up there and being involved in this battle. Larson ahead of Logano at the moment. Got to be wondering if Logano and Larson see this happening and think they may not battle each other. Let's get up to the lead. Let's not slow each other down. Let's get up there and battle for this. Now only 1 second from Larson to the back bumper of Elliott. So these two definitely making gains on the leader. Here goes Elliott again. To the inside down the front straightaway. Looks like he's going to have a little bit more of an edge in front this time into the corner. But then again, Almirola battling hard on the outside. And he's able to hold him off again. But Almirola, he's going to be slightly higher up the racetrack, down across the nose of the 9 machine. But Elliott still looking Almirola down to block. Being very defensive right now. Elliott back down to the bottom, trying to take a look. Catching the leader is one thing. Passing them is an entirely different thing. And I think the 9 car is starting to get a little frustrated. As you can see, he is there. He is underneath of Almirola. And you have to think, the spotter up on the roof is telling him Larson's coming. I don't think that Almirola is going to be able to get the defensive line he needs this time, but maybe to the outside of Elliott, just barely. Way up the racetrack goes the 10, losing the nose of the race car. And now Almirola falls into the clutches of the 5 of Kyle Larson. And this is not what Larson wanted to see. He wanted to see these guys battle a little bit more to help their cause, because now Elliott, he's going to start extending that lead. Not many laps left in this race, so Larson and Logano, they've got to make short work of Almirola, but Almirola is putting up a fight. And you can see the push. Look at Logano pushing Almirola down into the corner. Logano clears Almirola and gives himself a good run as well. Looks like he's going to get by Kyle Larson. A third position, now to the 22. But while all of that was happening, Elliott has extended the lead to almost a second again. Suarez right now holding the top 5 position, the 5th position. A couple Toyotas behind him. Christopher Bell and Kyle Busch. Trying to hold them off to hopefully get a top 5 out of this. Solid day for the 43 of Eric Jones. Eric Jones being shown just outside the top 10 in the 12th position. As well as a 17. Chris Buescher. Very strong run today here in Nashville. Buescher battling right now with Eric Jones. Alex Bowman still back in the pack, struggling right now. Bowman being shown in 20th. Slightly better than the last time we checked in with the 4-time winner this season, but still not what he needs. Another, wow, Brad Keselowski lost the nose on the car in the middle of the track. He checked up hard. Bubba Wallace and Michael McDowell now looking to get around him. So the handling on some of these cars going away a little bit. The front of the field, Chase Elliott now almost a 2-second lead over Logano. Logano has gotten around Almirola, but not able to make any headway on the 9. We saw this in the first run from Elliott, was the longer the car went, the faster it went. Does Joey Logano, now that he has track position, have anything for the 9 car? Logano, a quiet summer. Went to victory lane early in the season at Las Vegas, but has been very quiet since that victory. Even a second place run today will feel good. And Logano is slightly cutting into the lead, but not to the point where the 9 has to be worried. Once you start seeing full tenths come off, that's when I would start to get worried if I was the 9 car. Battle for the 5th position had been settled. Busch and Christopher Bell had gotten by Daniel Suarez. Suarez now falling back into the clutches of Austin Cindric. Cindric, another guy that has had a rough go of things lately, and a top 10 has got to feel good. Checking in on our Watkins Glen winner. Racing with our Sonoma winner. A couple of road course wins for these two. Hamlin wants that 10th position. Taking a look down to the inside of AJ Allmendinger, not looking like he's going to get it, as he's falling back slightly here. Harrison Burton doing a little bit better now than he was at the beginning of the race. Harrison has got himself up to the 25th position. Not a stellar spot, but much better than he was running when the race began. One driver that has fallen off quite a lot, you have to go all the way back here to find him, is Kevin Harvick. Bad pit stop is going to put Kevin Harvick 36th. And another driver without a win, but high up in the points, is Justin Haley, but this is going to hurt him big time in the points. Haley being scored 37th right now. So major implications. One guy who is looking like he's going to have a big points payout is the 9 machine. He has extended that lead yet again. Logano for a couple laps had chipped into it a little bit, but not to the point where Elliott was going to be concerned about it. I'm going to get 4 to go. Just an extremely fast race car. And Elliott was right around that cut line. Even with 3 wins, the consistency hadn't been there. With those 3 wins, you throw in 4 or 5 bad finishes and you're behind the 8 ball for the 9 team. But a 4th win here today, well, that would certainly help things. 3 to go for the 9 car of Chase Elliott. Behind him, the battle for 3rd. Hendrick Motorsports teammate Kyle Larson battling with Almirola. Almirola led a lot of this race, has been up front all day long. So, while it might not turn into a win, Almirola still has a shining moment to show for it. Qualifying on the pole and staying up in front of the pack all day long. A top 3 position finish would be great for Almirola. Mathematically eliminated from playoff contention, but Almirola, nonetheless, solid day. All eyes right now. That Napa Auto Parts number 9 machine, he's going to see the white flag here in Nashville. Down into turn number 1, a 2-second lead. He can back it down just slightly. Doesn't have to push the car all too much. One last time down the back straightaway. A look in the mirror. No pressure out back. We watched the car all day. It was solid. Able to run down Almirola from over 2 seconds. Once he got the lead, he didn't look back. And he's going to go to victory lane in Nashville. 4th win for Chase Elliott this season. Almirola was able to hold off Kyle Larson, finish in the 3rd position. But Chase Elliott will come to the front straightaway, and he's going to celebrate 4 wins on the season. And Chase Elliott will bring his number 9 machine to the front straightaway, and he will burn it down again this season. Chase Elliott dominated today's race. There's no way to say it other than domination for the 9 and Chase Elliott. This driver struggled a lot through the summer. It's been well documented, but goes to victory lane here today in Nashville and puts himself pretty solidly in the points for the playoffs, which is what the 9 was out to do today. They achieved that, and they go to victory lane here in Nashville. That will do it here today in Nashville. Look at the unofficial results. Chase Elliott, your winner. Joey Logano, 2nd. Eric Almirola will finish in a 3rd position with Larson in 4th. A solid day for Almirola. You see Chris Buescher finishes up towards the front, as well as Eric Jones. So 2 drivers that have struggled this season, starting to move up on the upswing here towards the end. Chase Elliott, your winner, 4 wins on the season. So that's 2 Hendrick Motorsports cars with 4 wins apiece. You can see here, Alex Bowman, he is just not having, or didn't have, a good day here today, nor did Kevin Harvick. Justin Haley, another rough day for him as well. Taking a look at the updated point standings here. 2 races remain. You got to be in that top 14. If you're not, you won't race for a championship. Some drivers that needed some points got some today, and some drivers that just needed to have a solid day did not. Playoff implications on a couple of these guys. That turns us to the schedule. And you can see 2 races left, Dover and Richmond. And then we head off for Kansas for the round of 14 in the playoffs. We hope to see you in Dover. Another concrete racetrack up next. We'll see you there next week.